lost again in Pittsburgh. The Dodgers pitching staff gave up 10 runs. The LA Sparks are now 2-7 in the WNBA after losing at home by 24 to the Minnesota Lynx. Troubling moment for the Chicago Sky when they arrived at their team hotel Wednesday in Washington, D.C. When the players got off the bus, a man approached Sky forward Kennedy Carter and shouted racist remarks at her. The man expressed anger at Carter for committing a flagrant foul Saturday on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
Ooh. Funky. Heard about 49 just east of Harlem. Dougie gon' be there, but you got to call him. Even the soldiers need a break sometime. Listen to the groove, y'all. Let it unwind your mind. No intoxication, let's see what I see. Dancing hot and sweaty, right in front of me. Oh, call it what you like. I'ma call it how it be. This is just another one of God's gift, musicology. Got to keep the party moving, like I told you. Keep the old school joint for the true funk soldiers. Musicology.
So I spent a lot of time with Prince, as you likely know, and it just so happens, Miles, on the day he recorded this song, I was in the studio with him, and also with him when he did the music video. And every time I hear it, I think about just being with Prince when he put this one, put this track down. Tomorrow, as you know, June 7th is Prince's natal day. June, as you know, is Black Music Month, and I think it's appropriate that Prince's birthday is in June, Black Music Month, so it gives me an excuse to talk about Prince today for the next hour, and gives us an excuse in the month of June to pick a different artist every day and to play their music all 3 hours of our program as we weave through these amazing conversations with these great guests. And so every day this month we are featuring a different artist of the day. We started Monday of this week with Curtis Mayfield. We did Ella Fitzgerald on Tuesday. Yesterday we had who was it yesterday, Miles? Eric Nolan from the Mighty OJs here yesterday. And Glenn Jones was here yesterday, R&B legend. So today, for all 3 hours, you're going to hear the best of Prince, particularly in this hour, because I am pleased to be joined in studio now by writer and professor of African American Studies, Dr. Adalifu Nama, to celebrate in this hour the life, legacy, and impact of Prince with his book, I Wonder You. You know the word you is spelled with just the letter U, because that's how Prince would have done it. I Wonder You, how Prince went beyond race and back. Dr. Nama, good to have you in studio. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm glad to be here, man. Happy to be here. Let me just say I'm deeply appreciative to sit across from Mr. Tavis Smiley, a legend in the game. For some, it's like he's the when you see he's the black Dick Cavett. But for those who know, Dick Cavett is the white Tavis Smiley.
Oh, I love it! I love it! I love it! I was just on the phone yesterday with Charlie Rose. I got to head to New York tonight. In fact, I'll be in New York for a couple of days, and I got to run to D.C. Been invited to something at the White House on Monday, so I'm going to run to New York and then to D.C. and right back to L.A. But I raised that because I was talking to my friend Charlie Rose yesterday, and Charlie and I are going to go to dinner one night while I'm in New York City. And you mentioned Dick Cavett. When I first came into my own, as it were, I'd been out there for a while, but when I got on PBS, Charlie Rose, of course, was already there. And some reporter referred to me as the chocolate-covered Charlie Rose. So you got the Dick Cavett reference, but I was laughing about the chocolate-covered Charlie Rose. Either way, I'm just Joyce's boy. I'm Joyce's boy.
There you go.
And I'm just delighted to be here with you as we celebrate the life and legacy of Prince in this hour. Let me just start with the obvious. Everybody listening right now has their own Prince stories, when they discovered Prince, how they became Prince fans. Tell me the backstory of how Dr. Nama became such a huge Prince fan, for starters.
Well, what it was, man, is I had a partner when I was growing up in Hawthorne, California. First name I remember, the brother's name is Harold. He put me on to this dude. He said, "You got to check out this cat named Prince." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, man." I'm like kind of like more of a hip hop type of thing going on. But he says, "Check him out," and just to keep it 100, check him out because he's singing some kind of like provocative songs.
Oh yeah. I started the show today playing Private Joy. Okay. So that fits with your theme. But go ahead, Doc.
And so he had some songs on there. If you're hip to Dirty Mind, and I don't know, it's early in the morning, so I'll try to keep it a little Disney, PG-13 maybe. We might dip into the other side of it, but. He had some tracks on there that were sexually provocative. I'm a adolescent, and so you can catch my attention when he's talking about fellatio and sing. I'm like, hey man, okay, I'll check him out.
I bet you did.
Yeah. And so I checked him out, but I also had a musical sensibility that this just wasn't a cat saying outlandish things to grab your attention. He had the hook, he had the bridge, he had all these other elements that I was like, oh man, this is cool. And then it had like a new wavy type of vibe to it too, that was speaking to the time. So I was in. And then I got to 1999, it was a wrap.
Oh yeah, that's all you need to say. It's not a wrap for this conversation. As a matter of fact, it's just getting started.
Yeah, that's right. It's
not a wrap at all. We got a whole hour here.
That's right.
The book is called "I Wonder You," the letter U. I Wonder You: How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. Its author, Dr. Alalifu Nama, is our guest for the hour. We're going to celebrate Prince all this hour as we are in the midst of June, Black Music Month. Bring it to me, Miles. Bring it to me.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Listen up here. Not feeling yourself lately? Have you had your weight loss dreams turn into a weight gain nightmare? Have you been chasing 20 pounds for 20 years? Raise your hand. All right, it's time for D-Herbs. D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse is a natural cleansing regimen that can help you lose 20 pounds in just 20 days. The Full Body Cleanse will also boost your immune system and improve your digestion. With summer just around the corner, now's the time to finally stop chasing those 20 pounds and propel yourself into a healthier lifestyle. To reboot your system and lose weight, go to dherbs.com right now and order your Full Body Cleanse or call 866-434-3727. If you mention Tavis at checkout, you'll get a discount on your order. Do I love you or what? dherbs.com. Experience healing.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler. I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Sounds different, huh? This is Tavis Smiley.
That's Prince. I'm Tavis. Our guest in this hour is Dr. Adolifu Nama. His book is called I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. We'll get into the book as we move through this hour. June is Black Music Month, and so every day this month we're celebrating a different artist. Why Prince today? Glad you asked, because all Prince fans know tomorrow is the Purple One's birthday, his natal day, which as he became a JW, Jehovah's Witness, he did not really celebrate his birthday, but I celebrated. I would call him and celebrate every year. Even if he didn't want to, I would just mess with him. And so I was telling Dr. Nama moments ago about this song, Kiss, which you hear. Prince had this funny little habit. He was a prankster, if you knew him. He had this funny habit with me of always name-checking me when I was in the audience. Of course, he knew I was there. He gave me the tickets. So, and I saw this Negro 100 times. I can't even tell you all the times I saw him all around the world, literally. And so he had this habit of name-checking me in songs. And at the end of the show, to make sure I was paying attention, he'd ask me backstage or over dinner, did you hear it? Did you hear it? I said, yes, Prince, I heard it. What'd you hear? And I would tell him the line, the lyric, where he name-checked me. So Prince hadn't played Madison Square Garden for years. And so you can imagine when he announced he's playing Madison Square Garden for a couple nights, everybody and their mama in New York came to that show. People flew into New York from around the world to see Prince at Madison Square Garden. And on the stage in the Garden, on this song where he says, you don't have to watch Dynasty to have an attitude, he changed the lyric and said, you ain't got to watch the Tavis Smiley show to have an attitude. I about fell out. I fell out. This is Prince name checking me on the stage at Madison Square Garden. The next day, a headline in the New York Post, Prince name checks Tavis Smiley at the Garden. And I have I've never seen the Garden the same. As many times I've been back for Knicks games or anything else, I think about that moment, that night where Prince name checked me in this track on stage at the Garden. Turn it up, Miles.
Kiss.
I used to always talk to Prince about that guttural scream, and only Prince could give you that guttural scream in tune, on note, on beat. I miss him. I miss him all the time, and I'm honored to celebrate him, his life and legacy in this hour with our guest again, Dr. Adolifu Nama, who's author of the book I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. I've always been fascinated. You can imagine over the years I've had all kinds of documentarians and authors reach out to me to talk about my friendship, my relationship with Prince, and I've been very, very hesitant to do that with most people. I've almost never done it, frankly. And not the least of which is because I don't want Prince coming back to me from his grave after participating in some documentary that isn't fair or just by him or to him, saying, Negro, why you do that? You know, I didn't do no documentaries when I was there. I didn't participate with these fools when I was there. Why would you do that? On the other hand, because I want to make sure his legacy is intact, I always feel some pull to go on the record to talk about him, to make sure he is remembered and revered in the way that he ought to be. But I'm always interested to know the backstory of how people who write books about him even come to approach the subject matter, because there's this vastness about this dude. So when you sat or got the notion to write a book called I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back, like, tell me about that yearning, that urge, that process to even approach writing a text about him.
Well, it's an excellent question. To be really frank about it and candid, I didn't want to write a book on Prince for the very reasons that you mentioned. First of all, it's so prolific, and then there's this: what angle are you going to take on this, and how are you going to get at it when there's so many, there's musicologists, there's cultural critics, there's people like you know, Boone Coons, Ace Boone's, you know, you've hung out, you've got a narrative there already, so who am I? You know, professor, written some books here and there to step in and into the octagon and think that I have something to say about Prince. And what really got me to do it was I was looking around and said, I don't see anybody who's really talking about this cat in a serious way that is not either just pure fandom or just nostalgia. And I think in some way fandom gets in the way of dealing with what this cat, I should say, what this performer.
No, you can't. He'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Contributed not just sonically, but culturally and socially. So I didn't really see that when I started doing in the parlance of an academic, the lit review.
Yeah.
You know, I had to go out and say, well, what have people said? What have they written about Prince? And I was like, you know, I was beefing on it. I was like, oh, I don't like this. And at some point, you don't like it. Well, what you gonna say about it then? So it came a point where I was like, well, I'm gonna write this book on Prince. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. To your earlier point, I wonder to what extent we lose sight, or frankly, not even just lose sight, never get to the essence, the true essence of who he was, because the iconography can be so blinding. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's exactly it.
The iconography can be so blinding. I'm not sure that we ever really get to the true essence of who he was. What say you?
No, that's exactly the issue.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, no, I'm not going to do a biographical expose on Prince. I think that was going to, that's going to be out there. There's going to be people who have stories and anecdotes that will, captivate the ear and spark the imagination. So I'm not trying to compete with that. But I think you raise the issue of this type of way in which you say essence is obscured. And I'm like, what's his social essence? What did Prince symbolize? How does his career and his personage operate in a broader milieu? How does it manifest in terms of this issue of, interesting enough, race? Is he black? Is he white? He said it. Am I black? Am I white? Am I straight? Am I gay? So it's already, he's putting out this transgressive, challenge to the listener and to the viewer to like figure out who this guy is. And so that to me was a challenge that I said, well, it's not about figuring out, if he likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the morning or in the afternoon. What is it that made him choose, or possibly what is the impact of the choices that he made concerning what we conceive of as a black artist?
I used the word essence, and then you came behind me and used the word social essence. I like that phrase. Let's interrogate that and wrestle with that for a second. You saw I got my attention, right? When you talk about Prince and his social essence, unpack that for me.
Well, for me, it's I'll come at it in terms of I'll make it personal and see how it touches folks. It's like Prince is like, he means so many different things to so many different people. And so how do we begin to distill that down to some components, some foundational elements? And so for me, the essence was, this dude is dealing with race. He's dealing with the issue of crossover or not to crossover. He's dealing with a black dude playing rock, so to speak, right? He's dealing with transgressing all these sonic spaces. And so I'm like, well, what type of person does that? But more importantly for me, what is its relevance and its resonance with the people who see, view, and hear the music? And so Purple Rain stands out as that, right? That coming together of like, oh, that's the essence of Prince. But just to take it in another direction, when that came out, for myself and other folks, I was like, oh man, y'all Prince fans, y'all late. I was a Prince fan before the movie even came out, right? And so the Prince, and that's why I say that he represents different things for different people. The Prince that I saw in Purple Rain, people like, oh man, that's Prince. I was like, well, that's Purple Rain Prince. Let's deal with controversy Prince. Let's deal with I Want to Be Your Lover Prince. Let's deal with Prince with the G-string and the high heels walking across the stage talking about I Want to Be Your Lover, right? So there's that's Prince as well. And then there's a way in which Prince actually, in many ways, is kind of rejecting the Purple Rain straitjacket that he got caught into. And that's a whole nother way in which to deal with Prince as not merely just an artist who's like catching the hot trend or the new trend or trying to catch up to the trend, but there's a way in which, as a trend setter.
Yeah. Can you see my notes? I'm laughing now. You can't read my handwriting. I just wrote down trendsetter. I wrote it down, and 2 seconds later you said it. I wanted to jump in and ask you how you view him, how you regard him as a trendsetter.
Yes, indeed. That's indeed interesting. So we vibe it.
Yeah.
So for me, a trendsetter he's dealing with gender issues. He's dealing with race issues. He's dealing with sexuality from a position of the black performer, not as a crooner, right? That is an acceptable kind of like category to understand a black male sexuality and his ability to express it. So Marvin Gaye would be the kind of quintessential example of that, right?
I see that, yeah.
Right. But Prince is coming on with something that's a bit more in your face. He's dealing with taboos, and he's willing to be like right up if we can use the word, flamboyant.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that makes him not only a trendsetter, it makes him transgressive, but it also makes him radical.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a way in which he's radicalizing black music. And that, for me, is interesting. The way James Brown radicalized funk and soul with kind of like a jazz improvisational aesthetic that he brought the funk, right, with Maceo and the gang, right? Prince is also he's radicalizing the music in that he's crossing and blending and synthesizing different musical genres. Mm-hmm. And so that becomes trend-setting for a brother from Minneapolis to say, well, I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah, to your point, I asked you the early beginnings, excuse me, the genesis of your falling in love with Prince. When I discovered him, what pulled me in, I told him this many times, and he used to laugh about it. What pulled me in was when I got this first Prince record, and it wasn't mine. I'll never forget, it was like yesterday, Nina, one of my classmates. Nina had a Prince record. And she brought it to school one day, and I asked her to look at it. She showed it to me. I said, who's this Prince guy? And she showed me the record. And I turned this sucker over, and even then, I was a liner notes guy. Ah. So I put out the liner notes. I'm looking at the credits on the record, and I'm like, who is this Negro that wrote all the songs, produced all the songs, played all the instruments on the songs, did the lead and the background vocals, did the cover art on the album. And again, I would tease about this all the time. In those early days, and even throughout his career, Prince did everything. Yeah. And played everything and sang everything. His bandmates, if they're here now, and I've talked to all of them, I know them all, they will tell you that whatever instrument they played in his band, he played it better. Every one of them will tell you that. So he did all these things, and I was just curious about it. Anybody who cared enough about his or her content, their product, and thought they were good enough to do all of this, and in fact they were good enough. He was good enough to do all that and to make it work. That's what pulled me in. I learned this over the years. It wasn't his arrogance, because he could play all those instruments. He sang all the lead and background vocals oftentimes, but that level of commitment to excellence is what pulled me in. I'm like, I got to know more about this guy, because there's a commitment to excellence here that I want to sort of interrogate. So when we come forward, I want to talk about that part, about his particular and unique, peculiar, frankly, commitment to a level of excellence. And then I want to get to this part about how Prince went beyond race and back. I want to make that connection to Prince and race. We're celebrating Prince today. Tomorrow, Friday, June 7th, is his birthday. But we're inside of June, Black Music Month, and so I'm pleased to have Dr. Adalifu Nama in his book, I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back, as the theme and subject for this hour of Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
We'd like to thank you for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Today marks the 80th anniversary of D-Day. In a speech commemorating when U.S. and Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, President Biden spoke to a global audience and gave praise to the soldiers who lost their lives in the invasion. He also praised the European alliance that was formed after the war that would become NATO and warned against isolationism. Muhammad Ali's childhood home is on the market. Christie's International Real Estate announced Tuesday that the African-American boxing legend's boyhood home in Louisville, Kentucky is now for sale. Ali, who was then known as Cassius Clay, lived in the small house from ages 4 to 18 when he won a gold medal for boxing at the 1960 Summer Olympics. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight. The Boston Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. The first 2 games are in Boston. The Celtics are 6-point favorites in Game 1. They haven't played in 9 days. 5:30 tip-off on ABC. The Angels pulled off their first series sweep of the season. They won all 3 games against San Diego. Congrats to Angels manager Ron Washington. The Dodgers lost again at Pittsburgh. The Dodgers pitching staff gave up 10 runs. The LA Sparks are now 2-7 in the WNBA after losing at home by 24 to the Minnesota Lynx. Troubling moment for the Chicago Sky when they arrived at their team hotel Wednesday in Washington, D.C. When the players got off the bus, a man approached Sky forward Kennedy Carter and shouted racist remarks at her. The man expressed anger at Carter for committing a flagrant foul Saturday on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Ready to re-examine your assumptions and expand your inventory of ideas? More of Tavis Smiley coming your way right now.
I never meant to call you in your sorrow. I never meant to call you in your pain. I'm the one who wants to have you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
So June is not just the Black Music Month. June is not just the month in which we celebrate Prince's birthday, which is tomorrow, June the 7th, his natal day. It is also the month that we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain, June 25th. It is the 40th anniversary. I think the estate just put out a big, is it a book or a box set? Yeah, they just put something out. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I've been reading about it. But the estate put something out celebrating his 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. There's some special activities going on at Paisley Park in Chanhassen, celebrating this major anniversary. I was just telling Dr. Nama, our guest, Dr. Adalufu Nama, his book is called I Wonder You, how Prince went beyond race and back. One night I was at Paisley in Chanhassen, and Prince had me hemmed up in his study room trying to pull me into the JW thing, right? And I said, Prince, I'm already one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I've been one my whole life. But Prince was trying to pull me into the JW thing. And I started pushing back on him so tough. He did that Prince walk, got up, walked out the room. And I'm sitting there for 30 minutes waiting for Prince to come back. And this Negro shows up 30 minutes later with Larry Graham. He had stepped out to call Larry Graham, his teacher, who pulled him in. And so Larry Graham and Prince tried to wear me out for hours talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. And when I wasn't having it, respectfully, we went down to the production facility at Paisley, and Larry got on the guitar and Prince got on the guitar. His keyboardist was there, but there was no drummer that night. And Prince said, Tavis. I said, what? Get on the drums, Negro, and just keep a beat. Just keep a beat. And so I got on the drums and kept a beat, and what a great night. Prince, Larry Graham, and me just at a jam session in the production studio there at Paisley. But again, I miss him, and I am honored and humbled always to celebrate him, and delighted to be in conversation with Dr. Nama, again, about his book, I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. I was saying before the break how I was just enthralled when I first discovered Prince decades ago, reading liner notes and album covers or back covers about his playing all the instruments and doing the engineering and designing the cover and singing lead vocals and background vocals. And you said to me, but Tavis, there is a downside to all that autonomy. So I want to hear your press, brother. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Well, the brother's a musical genius, phenomenal in all these areas. But I would argue that type of one-man band sensibility begins to fray at the edges as you get deeper into the discography, deeper into his career, where you do, I think, can benefit from some feedback, from some interaction, where you get caught up in your own head, which is what Purple Rain was really about. If we deal with the narrative in terms of when the kid really comes into his own is when he's able to collaborate with Wendy and Lisa, and in fact comes up with the song Purple Rain as it's shown in the film, right? And so there is a way in which even symbolically speaking, it's making acknowledgement that musicianship is a collaborative experience, which I think toward deeper into Prince's career, he needed an editor. He needed somebody to come in and say, listen, you can't drop, double albums every 6 months. It's just, you've got to leave a little space for people to breathe. You can't have them eat the meal, and as soon as they finish it, say, here's dessert. You got to give them a little time to work it out. So for me, the autonomy was something to, you can appreciate, and certainly it played to his strengths. But I think later on, that you become too self-referential.
Yeah, I hear that, and I receive that. I was laughing as you were talking, laughing to myself. If you think he was too prodigious, putting out albums too quickly at a particular point in his career, I'm thinking about the 10,000 songs in the vault that never got released, which I'm sure we'll be hearing in the years to come as the estate puts stuff out here and there, I suspect. But I hear your point. I do think you got to give people a chance to miss you and to want more. And you're giving stuff too fast, that can be problematic. I hear that point.
Yeah. And so, but let me say this. And it's maybe a hard left, but I appreciate these type of narratives that I get to hear when people talk about Prince. People figure out like, oh, you wrote a book on Prince, and usually they tell me the story.
Sure.
And I'm a big fan of it because here's the shocker. I've never seen Prince in concert.
You never had? You never saw him in concert?
Never.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I saved that in there. Yeah, because that throws people off. They're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And for me, that was my calling card.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like I will not be kind of like seduced by that Prince thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I'm just dealing with the music.
Yeah.
Right, and I catch a video here and there, but I haven't been totally like enveloped by it, and so I thought, here we go, that because of kind of like a distance, and a type of detachment that I had, I could use that in terms of like academic intellectual detachment.
Sure.
That is so pivotal to engaging the material.
I did not know that, and 2 seconds ago when you mentioned it, I was a bit shocked. But as I hear it, it makes perfect sense. Because you can be seduced. And this Negro could seduce you.
That's right.
So I hear that intellectual and academic detachment and how that serves you in a way that it might not serve another writer who got pulled into the performance. And if you ever spent time with him, got pulled in by his charisma and charm. And that I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I can argue that. I can respect that. His name is Dr. Adolfo Namo. His book is called I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. When we come forward, we'll talk about Prince and race on Tavis Smiley.
From Leimert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
You're gonna feel a puff of air.
Zhang's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where The dilation drops.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Who do you trust to get at the truth? Tavis Smiley. That's who. The conversation continues right now.
Speaking of controversy, Dr. Nama just shared with us, as you heard, that even though he's written a pretty powerful book about Prince called I Wonder You, how Prince went beyond race and back. He's an avowed Prince fan, but he never ever saw Prince in concert, not even one time. And I asked him a moment ago, which I now want to ask on the air, do you ever have regrets about the fact now that he's gone that you never saw Prince in concert?
Oh man, big time regrets, man. Oh
Yeah.
man, I but when I really reflect on it, I think that for me, I was going to use that to really get at him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like I'm gonna get at Prince because everybody's a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's being kind of like taken in by the charisma and the style and I'm like, man, I ain't seen the brother. I've listened to the music, so I'm not affected. So I'm bringing the ruckus when I talk about Prince. I don't care, right? I know I'm not gonna get an invitation to the backstage, no backstage passes. So what, right? So I came in there ready to bring it, a cold critic. And what I found out as I got deeper into the book, I was writing. I was like, okay, I kind of respect that. That was cool, Prince. I don't agree with it, but I get it. And it was this uncovering of like a type of respect for him that I thought that I was immune from since I hadn't been caught up in the fanness of it, of like the experience of Prince, right? Yeah. But I actually was able to make my way through and be like, man, there was some treacherous social political waters that you were dealing with here.
Yeah.
And okay, I see why you did what you did. Okay, I get it.
Speaking of controversy, Prince and race. The subtitle of your text is called How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. Tell me about Prince and race as you see it.
Well, for me, man, I'll make it personal and we can get into the social. I liked Prince, but I was a critic of Prince. I was listening to his music and I was like, for me, I categorized like, these are the black songs and these are like some other type of songs.
Crossover stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, just sonically speaking, I liked the stuff that I would call this like weird music, right? It was some weird stuff that I'm with. But a lot of other people be like, oh man, they couldn't vibe with that, but they could vibe with the black kind of like R&B sound. And so I'm a big fan of Prince's R&B music, but I recognize like, why isn't this dude, he can do this. He's like, why is there only 1 or 2 tracks and, of course, the Killer slow songs, right? He would just all
Adore,
yeah. Do Me Baby, International Lover. So so he's got all these R&B elements like, mastered, but there will only be 2 or 3 of those type of tracks. And so I was like, what is this cat doing about it? Well, we'll cut right to the chase. Is this dude scared to be black? Is he scared to come out and just be funky through and through? Because he's got the chops. So why am I hearing, kind of like a, rockabilly style on 1999? Why am
But why scared rather than being a universalist, playing to everybody, playing everything?
Right. Well, I come out of kind of like a hip hop sensibility,
Right.
so it's like, hip hop is like, I'm proud to be black, y'all, and that's a fact, y'all.
Right.
It's really kind of like in your face in terms of its racial politics. That's kind of carry over from black exploitation to black power.
And you thought he didn't? You thought he did not embrace that?
Yeah, when I was coming, I didn't think it was strong enough.
Yeah.
It was for the material that he put out. Like, why can't it all be funky style?
Let's talk about that part when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Unapologetically progressive, unapologetically black. You're tapped into Tavis Smiley.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Medicare Fraud Prevention Week focuses on the actions everyone can take to prevent Medicare fraud, errors, and abuse. Learn how to protect yourself and your loved ones by joining the Senior Medicare Patrol, or SMP, for Medicare Fraud Prevention Week, June 3rd through the 9th. Learn more at snpresource.org or by calling 1-877-808-2468.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Smart talk for curious people just like you. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Dr. Adolufu Nama. His book is called I Wonder You, How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. Got about 5 minutes here left in this conversation, which I could do for hours. My answer very quickly to your question, to your statement that that race thing that Prince was navigating, as you put it. I think Prince just didn't want to be boxed in. I can give you a much deeper response, but when you have the prodigious talent that he has, you don't want to be boxed in. I was saying to you that I went to Montreux with him one year. He played Montreux and called me and asked me to go with him, and I'd never seen him play internationally. I'd seen him 100 times here, but never internationally. My first time, I went to Montreux, and I remember just being marveling at people from all around the globe who came to see him at Montreux. And I got kind of caught up in a situation because I was walking down the street one day, and long story short, a mob of folk were chasing. And I didn't know who they were running from, but I saw them running. I started running. It turns out they were chasing me because they had seen all my interviews with Prince on the internet. And they knew that Prince and I were friends. And so they were just trying to get to me, and I kind of figured that out. And I told Prince that story later that day. He said, yeah, I should have told you. Don't go out by yourself. Next time you go out, have my security go with you, because when they see you, they'll think they'll want to talk to you. So anyway, funny story about being in Montreux. But I think he didn't want to be boxed in.
Well, yeah, that's correct. Not only personally, and you can attest to that, but I think in terms of the industry, the music industry is very much about marketing and presenting music within a particular genre, and if you don't fit the image or the sound of the music doesn't fit the so-called preconceived face that people have for it, then that can be problematic. And so I think, certainly Prince he might have his own personal, kind of like drive and something, a chip on his shoulder, so to speak. But the industry in and of itself was providing a way for him to rebel against. Yeah. And just to sneak this in, I think one of the things, my criticism at the beginning of terms like, hey, Prince ain't black enough. Well, it was myopic in the sense that I didn't know that there was a group called The Time and the group that I knew as a time, the funky group that's R&B, they bring it, was Prince.
And he owns the name. He owned the name of The Time, as Morris Day would tell you in the fights they had every now and then about Prince owning that name. IP, intellectual property. I digress on that. I've got 60 seconds to go. Let me put you on the spot right quick in 60 seconds. You never saw Prince in concert. You've written a wonderful book about him, though, because you focused in just on the music. You didn't get pulled in. I get it. But if you had met Prince, and if you had a chance to talk to Prince and interview Prince, what is it you'd most want to talk to him about?
I would want to talk to Prince about, is there any way that I can be the producer or editor of your next?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. And he would...
because there's some funky tunes, brother, and we need to put together the Black Album Part 2.
He would have rolled his eyes at you and said, "Okay, Nico, get out."
That's right.
Get out.
and that's what he should say. Yeah. But I'm still gonna say it.
Dr. Nama, I've enjoyed having you here. Dr. Adolufu Nama. His book is called "I Wonder You," the letter U. How Prince Went Beyond Race and Back. I've enjoyed this hour of just celebrating the life and legacy in June, Black Music Month, of one Prince Rogers Nelson. Good to have you here, sir. All the best to you.
Same here, brother. Same here.
More Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We'd like to thank you for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Today marks the 80th anniversary of D-Day. In a speech